Hi, welcome Brightlights to Healers with Humor, a podcast brought to you by Candice, the visionary behind Indiglow Soul, and Shelly, the owner of Finding Your Light. Join us as we explore the intricacies of our healing experiences and share the wisdom we've accumulated along the way. In each episode, we're going to invite you into our intimate conversations where we candidly explore the highs and the lows of our healing experiences. Through our podcast, we want to extend our hands to those navigating their own path of healing, offering a sanctuary of understanding and companionship. Whether you're navigating through the shadows of self-doubt or reveling in the glow of self-discovery, Healers with Humor is there to honor the strength that it takes to heal and celebrate the joys of self-love and growth. Join us on this journey, embracing the beauty of healing and the power of community.
Hello, Brightlights. I'm Candice.
I'm Shelly.
Welcome back to Healers with Humor, Season 1, Episode 6. Today we're talking about living present. So I pulled a card from one of my Oracle decks. This deck is the Raise Your Vibration deck from Kyle Gray, which I love. And essentially the message that we received today around living present is around slowing down, taking your time, resting when you need to, and allowing yourself to be filled back up. This is a concept that most of us don't employ, but if we just delete, right, our energy or deplete our cup, so to speak, and we don't let it overflow, then we don't have the energy and we're not able to operate in a living present moment when we are depleted. So if we're operating on half empty, then we're not able to live in that present moment. So that was a good reminder. But Shell, you and I talk about all of this stuff all of the time. And so what are your thoughts on living present?
You know, when I sat down and thought, well, what does that mean to me? I really wrote three things. I wrote, there's the past, there's the present, and there's the future. And when I think about the present, I think what's happening now. And taking that one step further, I was like, how am I doing with things as they are now? Not how they will be, not how they were, how they are right now. How do you look at that?
So yeah, the same thing, right? Past, present, future. And for me, a lot of it is about how our society looks at all of those things. And so when I think about, the good old days, right? I feel like we romanticize the past, even if it wasn't romantical. And, the good old days, things were better when I was younger. Or they might have been, I don't know. But if we focus too much on the past, right, then we're surely not in the present. And then what really strikes me is the future concept. I feel like, again, as a society, we are driven to have goals. What's your 5-year plan, right? What does your future look like? What are you going to be doing? And so I don't know that we are fully allowed to live in the present because we're so focused on what's next.
Yeah, that's a really good way to think about it. And I think that you and I both as energy healers and in our business, right, we've been talking about we move right to the next thing. Sometimes we even forget to celebrate, which I think that's a subject we'll cover in the future. But, it's hard to be in the now, right? I completed something. Let me just enjoy it, right? Revel in it for a minute.
Yeah.
Because that's right now.
Yes.
Otherwise, I think sometimes that can kind of lead to regret, right? This will at some point be the past.
Yep.
And we'll wish we had done something different. Well, are there some things that you want to share with us that you want to talk about how you can live more in the present or more in the moment?
Yeah. So again, I really kind of thought about how much time do I actually spend in the present moment? And for me, it's about intention, just like everything else. Right. And so I have to be intentional about those celebrations, about being in the present moment. My husband and I were just talking about this a couple weeks ago. So we moved to Florida, right, a few months ago. And we have a lease through the middle of next year. And we were already starting to think about where are we going next, right? We
Hmm.
live in this beautiful vacation land, right? And we're already thinking about where should we go? What are we going to do? And we were both a little stressed about it. And so, we both agreed that we were going to put that conversation on hold and that we were going to enjoy the time that we have where we are right now. And when the time is right for us to think about what's next, it will unveil itself to us. But let's not live in the future, but in the moment we have right now to experience, right, what we're currently in.
Mm.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah, I was thinking about it more in like questions I could ask myself to,
mm,
I'll say, check in.
hmm
So, what can I enjoy about today? Right.
hmm
Some days are amazing and that's easy, and some days are not. Right.
hmm
But for anybody who has a gratitude practice,
Yep.
right, no matter what the day is, kind of saying, like, how did today go? What can I be grateful for?
hmm
I think is one of the key things to helping you be in the present in the moment.
Yes.
And I think the other, question that I've asked myself is, and I just caught myself in the last couple of weeks really saying, how do I feel about right now? And I think sometimes why I'm not in the present is just I don't like how I feel right now. Or I don't like what's happening, right?
hmm
If things aren't going as I hoped that they would, or I had a bad day or something was disappointing. Sometimes I don't always want to be in the present, right? I think that's
hmm
what drives me to what could happen in the future, right? So that I don't
Yeah.
actually have to feel
Yeah.
what's happening right now.
Yeah. And as energy healers in our feelings all the time, right? And in our clients, helping them feel their feelings. Yeah, it's an interesting concept to really think about that. I love the gratitude piece. That's definitely something that I thought about during this process as well. And that's something that I like to do every day, right? Is to have gratitude for where I am right now. And that helps me be in the present. But how do you know when you're not living in the present? Like, what are some of those keys for you?
Yeah. There's a song, Wishing and Hoping. I think
Mm,
whenever I catch myself, wishing or dreaming that things are different, right?
hmm
That's different than how they are today. It could be how they were, right? Living in the past. It could be how I hope that they're going to be, or I
hmm
hear that they're going to be as two people who are intuitive,
Yep.
and trying to, patiently waiting for the future, but not always patiently.
hmm
And so it's wanting something different than where I am.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's two things there, right? There's the what am I doing on a daily basis, understanding my present energy. And there's, we like to daydream, right? That's actually healthy for us.
Mhm.
And so there's a concept of, how much daydreaming do I do? But if we're not enjoying the current moment at the present, to your point, is there something I can do to change that? How am I contributing to that? Am
Mhm.
I allowing people to annoy me or, have a bad day? What am I contributing to that? And it's really focusing your energy on the past, present, or future, right? You have the choice of where you
Mm.
focus that. And there's this great quote by a Chinese philosopher called Lao Tzu. And I'm sure most people have seen this, but if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you are living in the moment. And so
Mhm.
I really think about that when I am feeling anxious or depressed, like what is contributing to that? And so how do I get to be more in the moment? And I love those prompt questions that you were asking yourself.
Mm. So how do you know when you're not living in the present? Is it anxiety or depression? Or do you catch yourself doing certain things?
Yeah, for me, it's when I'm focused too much on the past, I'm not able to move things forward in my present.
Mm.
So specifically with my business or, in my relationships, because of all of the healing that I've done and continue to do on, repressed childhood trauma, because I don't remember it, it's hard to, how do you focus on the past if you don't remember it? But again, we always talk about the body knows, right? And so my body talks to me and tells me where those memories are held. And so as an energy healer, continuously trying to heal those past wounds, it's hard to not stay in the past, right? And think about, geez, if things had been different, or, if someone else had, stepped in or whatever. But what happens for me is that when I'm doing that, I'm not actively engaged in my present, and then things kind of stall.
Oh.
Whether it's, with my business, or not wanting to, post on social media, or, just being too in my feelings, sitting on the couch and just kind of looking out the window. When I'm doing those things, I know that I'm focused too much on the past.
Yeah, interesting, because I think you just answered why is it important for us to live in the present?
Mm-hmm.
Because what you just said was you don't actually even move toward the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all looking back, not forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always think of it like, there's the quote or tagline, right? It's not about the journey. It's not about the destination.
Mm-hmm.
It's the journey.
Yep.
Which, when I first hear that, we're all like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think of it like if you flip to the last chapter in a book, or fast forwarded like we used to the end of a movie, right?
Yeah.
When do you fall in love with the characters? When do you get to know them and start cheering for them?
Mm-hmm.
When do you understand, I'll say, all the build up to, right, the two characters, winning, or, you know, falling in love, or any of
Mm-hmm.
those things, right? When you go to the end.
Yeah.
So being present means that you kind of miss all the sweet spots.
If you're not being present, yeah.
You're not being present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's, it allows you to notice the great things that are happening, right? Being present each and every day. If you're too focused on past or future, to your point, you're not focusing, you can't see the sweet spots that are happening every day, or the great things that are happening on a daily basis. And again, we're so ingrained in to just move it, like keep it moving, right? Just keep it moving. And so sometimes you do need to take a second and be like, is today a good day? Am I, and if not, why? And what can I do to change it? Right? Because it's all intention.
So what you just said made me think about, when we keep moving, do we actually process or fully feel
Mm-hmm.
what's happening when we're present? And
Yep.
I'm almost asking that rhetorically, because just today, I was watching a movie and I had this overwhelming feeling of sadness. And I actually hit the pause and I was like, I'm going to feel this. And I was like, how long do I have to feel this? Is this like a day thing? Is this
Right.
like give you 5 minutes, right? But that's the feeling that I had today.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered, right, why we don't hit the pause button sometimes. Because I could have just kept going watching the happy movie that I was watching.
Yeah.
Instead of accepting where I was in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a great example. Yeah. We don't get to hit the pause button very often. But again, we have the control to be able to do that in our own lives. I love that you did that. How long did you hit the pause button for?
I think I probably should write myself a note to do that more, but because it wasn't long, right? It was probably 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And frankly, what I realized is I was scared of it. Right? What's it gonna feel like? I knew it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't like celebration, excitement. It was, ooh, a little bit of, what am I sad about? What is my body processing?
Yeah.
And I probably honestly didn't give it enough time.
Yeah.
I did acknowledge it. So
yeah, kudos.
But remembering to do that, right? To be there where my mind was, my body was, and what my body needed to do at the time.
Yeah.
So I think to a certain degree, I've just said I don't think it's easier to live in the present, right? When things don't feel good. It's
Yeah.
easy when things are going great.
Mm.
What about you? You think it's easier or harder?
I do not think it's easier. No, I do not. I have to catch myself a lot to redirect my thoughts. Right? We can't change the past. We can learn from it. We can't predict the future, but we can certainly live in a high enough vibration that we are bringing towards us what we want. But really, and I'm going to go back to the thing that you said earlier, being grateful. So if I wake up every day and I go to bed every night thinking about what I'm going to be, what I was grateful for when I go to bed, like what was good today. And I wake up thinking today's going to be a great day. What am I going to be thankful for, grateful for? When you put that into, if you implement that, it allows you to focus more on the moment, right? Rather than the past or the future. So it's not to say that we shouldn't consider our past or our future. It's just not where we want to focus the majority of our time.
Oh.
I will say that, again, the society doesn't necessarily want us to live in the moment because it's easier to live in the past or the future, right? And so one thing that I notice is these Facebook memories, right? So every day, or an Amazon photo memory, right, that comes up, every day you get reminded of your past, of a picture that you took, of, a Facebook post that you did 10 years ago, or a trip you took 15 years ago, whatever that looks like for you. So even as a society, right, our social media is bringing us to the past all the time. And so it's really, I think, has to be a conscious effort to be like, okay, how much time am I going to spend on this past moment? Oh, that was fun. We celebrated an anniversary, or, we had a great trip, or whatever, right, for that particular day. And maybe we spend 2 minutes in it and not 10 or 15, right? So it's how far down the rabbit hole are you going to go?
Yeah, I was gonna say what you made me think of. I think the opposite is true on the future side too. If you think about all the things that are advertised, right? It's all the things that you need or you should have, right?
Yeah.
Which shows you what you should have in the future,
Yes.
as opposed to being really happy or really, I'll say, content where you are today, because today's the only thing we can do anything about.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I got caught up in Amazon Prime Day this week, right? I ordered some stuff I probably didn't need, but my future self was like, oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Anything that we want. So I definitely hear that being grateful is probably one of the best things
Yes.
that we can implement in order to be living more present. Maybe just an awareness of not living so much, spending so much time in the past or in the future.
Yeah.
But I think the other piece, right, we've talked about it before, is really being here now, whether that's not feeling amazing today or when we're feeling amazing, but being in our body, present, and in this moment.
Yep.
And there's always something to be grateful for, even on a bad day.
Yes.
And keeping that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll try to be present more often.
Yes. So share with us how you stay present in the comments below. And we'd love to hear from you. So yeah, share your thoughts around this with us. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. As we conclude this episode of Healers with Humor, we want to express our deepest gratitude to you, fellow Brightlights. Thank you for joining us on this heartfelt exploration. Our journey began with a chance encounter at an expo, two souls seeking healing and connection. Through shared experiences, laughter, and tears, we forged a bond rooted in trust, love, and the relentless pursuit of growth. We invite you to continue this journey with us by sharing your own healing stories and connecting with us. Your presence in our community enriches our collective healing experience, and we're honored to walk alongside you. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll explore topics that resonate with the soul, offering insights, guidance, and inspiration along the way. Until then, remember, you are not alone on your healing journey. Thank you for tuning in, and may your path be illuminated with love, courage, and endless possibilities.